gripping his blade tightly. Oh my, why did I start like Anyway, Yuta speaks up and tells the group that he's going to join the battle to help Gojo. Not pleased to hear this, as he stated that he was going to be the first to leave, Kashimo sparks up his cursed energy and warns Yuta to not interfere, as it's him who will go and fight next. Seeing his boy's cursed energy flare up, Hikari asks Yuta to calm down and says Gojo had initially asked him to tag in when he starts to lose the battle or gets overwhelmed. But Yuta rebukes it, saying that since Sukuna's domain expansion is now disabled, he can help Gojo out by handling their two Shikagamis with Rika. Speaking up, Maki tells Kashimo to not forget his overall role in this battle. If he's defeated, then some of the backup insurance will be gone. Yuta is just like, but bruh, if we go for it now and take this gamble and win against Sukuna, then the insurance won't be needed at all. Probably just eager to test his new body swapping ability, Yuji takes Yuta's side and encourages him to go for it. I love how like this backup plan of theirs really hasn't even been discussed at all. We kind of skipped over that month as I've been over in the past. Like we know for a fact Kashimo said he's going to be the next to enter, but we have no idea when that's actually going to be at this point. But was this even spoken about beforehand with Gojo? Yuta kind of made it seem like they've all had this chat in the days before this battle, so I'm assuming there is an underlying plan that our team does have. Not just going into this not having any plan at all, but anyways, they all think that because Sukuna isn't able to give us everything, and Gojo is at his best when he doesn't need to worry about others, this setup they're currently in has the highest probability of winning. Getting slightly bummed out with this, both Yuji and Yuta sulk after realizing that they're probably just going to be a hindrance if they enter. Pulling them back to reality though, Kashimo tells them that that's not exactly true. At the end of the day, this is Gojo's fight, and it would just be lame as hell if they all interfered. Kari himself suspects that Sukuna might actually have a trump card and is preserving it for later. So if the sorcerers do act too quickly and reveal their hand, Sukuna might end up using that trap card on them. Skipping away from our guys though, and back inside of Shinjuku, the two massive Shikigami attack Gojo in a combination attack. However, Gojo evades the attacks with ease and lands his own counter attack, Black Flash. Jumping back, it's shown that Agito wasn't even fazed by the hit and instead sends its tail to attack, which is in fact a miniature version of the Great Serpent, proving that this beast was probably made up of even more Shikigami than originally thought. Ripping off the head of the serpent tail, Gojo watches as Maharaga quickly pushes the other Shikigami aside to protect it as it heals. Pondering on this new beast some more, Gojo thinks that Agito is most likely made up of Nue, which firstly inherited the Great Serpent, then the Morn Tiger and Round Deer. Still, none of that even matters in the larger scheme of things. Since Agito hasn't adapted to Limitless, like Maharaga has, Gojo plans to destroy it in one shot. Stepping away for the second time now, another random reveal that I almost completely missed the first time around. But what even is this Morn Tiger? Surely that's the 10th Shikigami from the 10 Shadows technique that we haven't actually seen yet. The lines across Agito's chest could resemble the tiger's markings. I initially thought it was something to do with Sukuna. Love to know what you guys all think, and if we'll ever actually get an explanation on the Shikigami in the future. Placing his blade on the floor, Maharaga flicks it at Gojo, causing a line of rubble to get thrown up into his face. Blocking the rocks with his infinity, Gojo then proceeds to dodge out of the way of the Shikigami's follow-up attack. Continuing, Dad then launches a fat head kick that pushes the creature back. Turning around, Gojo quickly activates his infinity and brings the second Shikigami in closer. Having seen Agito use RCT to heal its tail before, Gojo realizes that it'll be troublesome if it also heals Sukuna during the battle, so his plan is to firstly deal with it. Elsewhere, inside of his dank, shadowy world, Sukuna starts creating a plan to not let Gojo use his prolific Hollow Purple. He knows that the last time Gojo used it, the attack was amped up to 120%. Still, he was able to take it head on with somewhat minimal damage, since it was coming from such a large distance. However, due to everything that's happened since then, if Dad does hit him with even a 100% Hollow Purple right now, then it will be fatal. Knowing that Maharaga wasn't showing him everything, Sukuna speaks up and asks his Shikigami how long it's going to make him wait. He's not dumb and knows it's no longer Megami's shadow, so demands that it shows him what it's got. Following those orders, Maharaga's wheel spins and sends forth an ability that looks exactly like Sukuna's Dismantle, which slices the greatest sorcerer of today's arm right off. Not leaving his shadowy realm, Sukuna chuckles and praises Maharaga for its adept use of his technique, while simultaneously a bunch of the sorcerers all scream in pure panic. Shoko personally knows that this isn't great timing at all, as Gojo's healing is currently weakened. Re-emerging from his shadows and taking the advantage, Sukuna punches Gojo before quickly following up with a wicked snap kick that sends Gojo directly into the path of Agito, who'd begun flaring up its own cursed energy. Agito then proceeds to absolutely pummel Gojo's head with a fat right hook. However,
you can't just shoot a hole into the surface of Mars.
Gojo, looking completely manic, looks into its eyes while creating an orb of condensed blue and tells Agito that for a while now it wasn't worthy enough to be considered an opponent in this battle. Smashing his left hand down now, Gojo effortlessly thrashes around the pathetic curse. Looking at Sukuna and Mahoraga, he cements Agito's uselessness as he captures it completely within his new, blue, maximum output and sends a pathetic creature hurling towards Sukuna and Mahoraga. Dodging out of the way of the blast, Sukuna can only watch as the amalgamation of Shikagamis is sent hurling through Shinjuku before it is eventually crushed and destroyed under the pure force of Gojo's maximum output technique. 41 seconds later, Gojo's purple has also ripped its way through the battlefield in Shinjuku. But we don't actually get to see that purple go off. Like, that's just a hidden ability that has been rumored. So I wonder if we're going to get the next 41 seconds in the next chapter. Like, that's going to be what goes down before the purple fires. But as it says, you know, like, there is a scar left on the face of Shinjuku, and I'm guessing the entirety of that district in Tokyo has been utterly wiped from the face of the planet. Well, yeah, this is getting absolutely insane now. Subscribe and leave a like if you have enjoyed what I've done with the latest Jujutsu Kaisen chapter and want me to cover the current stuff going on weekly. I don't know if I'll call them reviews, but yeah. Anyway, bro, like, was I the only one thinking that, damn, Gojo is hella lucky his domain can be thrown up with one arm, or like any technique he does can just be used with one hand? I know it's kind of silly to think that he'll use another domain expansion at this point, but you know, just the idea that if he was in like a similar situation to Hikari, man could have 100% just cemented his defeat. What I'm actually mainly curious about here is this mysterious purple that was apparently sent out 41 seconds later. Will Mahoraga adapt to purple, or is Giga ending this massive fight next week because there isn't a break this one? Will Megumi ever be able to summon like another Shikigami again if he does come back? Do you guys also think that possibly Sukuna actually gets finished at the end of these 41 seconds? I highly doubt it. Like, narratively, I still think that Gojo is actually going to lose this fight, so you Gojo fans can always suck on that one. But continuing on, Sukuna was kind of getting nervous over the idea of taking a 100% purple to the dome, but I'm also questioning at this point if Dad was even able to use a 100% hollow purple after also using a maximum output technique. Maybe my understanding is just slightly wrong, not that it even matters at this point, as everyone's understandings have just been completely reinvented with this fight. But I honestly don't expect it to end next week. Like, if you guys all saw Gojo's arm in the final panel, it's just beginning to slowly heal now, which in my eyes means it's going to go down to fists soon. Plus, Kashimo telling Yuta to sit the fuck down, pussy boy, this is a 1v1 on Rust is absolutely amazing when he tries to enter and help out Gojo. But, you know, either way, subscribe if you are new around here, and leave a like if you want me to cover this battle weekly until it ends. Obviously, this won't affect bigger vids. I'm still going to be dropping fat arc videos as well. I'm getting slowly through One Punch Man, and I've got one of the Chainsaw Man videos, and then also doing Berserk as well that I've slowly started working on. So a bunch of stuff in the works right now. Either way, I'm just loving Jujutsu Kaisen right now. But until next time, it's been your professional degenerate, Diavolo, and I'll see you all in a bit. Bye.